WWE Raw review for the December 8th episode of Raw. I'm Will, that's Brandon. We're the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling podcast. As always, cheers, talk about some wrestling.
Yeah, usually I try to come up with something funny to say or something nice to say to kind of set the table here. The last Raw of John Cena's time in WWE.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep, Cena's final week. Raw was fun watching with all of you guys on our live stream, youtube.com/CodWrestlePod. But be there this weekend. We will be doing a live stream for John Cena's final show. It'll be nostalgic. It'll be emotional. Be there. It'll be a lot of fun. But let's get into this show because we're here today. We're here to talk about that. But speaking of Cena, his opponent started the show. Mr. Gunther started the show. It will be Gunther versus John Cena, obviously. Gunther starts by saying, "Now is my time. I will be John Cena's last match." John Cena is the greatest entertainer in professional wrestling history, but I am the greatest wrestler of all time. And then he points to the Jumbotron and up pops John Cena countdown. It says 4 days and whatever hours, and it's ticking down, and I was crying. But he says, "Your hero who never gives up. I will break him. I will choke him, and I will do something that no one else has ever made you do. I will force you to give up." So Gunther, he absolutely cuts a fiery promo. He promises to make John Cena give up, and I loved every second of it. I'll pop it.
Yeah, very short and sweet promo from Gunther here. Not much to say, really. He talks about, obviously, the sports entertainment value, but that's not what this is. He says it's wrestling. He's going to beat the hell out of John Cena. And this is pretty much the exact reaction we kind of thought the crowd would have to Gunther, right? The crowd booed the hell out of Gunther, and that's exactly why they're doing what they're doing here. I haven't exactly decided whether or not I think, hey, maybe he just passes out, or maybe WWE goes full on, hey, hate this, here you go. But this is going to be a really good match. Gunther also didn't miss in the tournament at all. He was having 4 or 5-star matches with everybody. It's going to be nice to have one last one with John Cena.
Yeah, this promo tonight was all I needed from Gunther, and it was like the exact reason why I thought Gunther should win the tournament from the get-go. He walked out, crowd booed the hell out of him. He said that, basically he's the best wrestler ever. John Cena is nothing but an entertainer, and I'm going to make him tap out. I'm going to force him to quit. And everybody in the crowd was like, boo, no, I don't like that. Bingo. You got yourself a big bad John Cena enemy, even though John Cena can't be there to promote the feud in and of itself. I thought this is exactly what you needed. Gunther did a great job. The match is going to be fantastic, just like all of his matches in the tournament. It's going to be great. I'm happy about it. Simple as that.
Yeah, and we'll keep an eye out for our predictions later on this week.
Ooh, good promotion. Then we move on. It was Io Sky taking on Kairi Sane. Of course, Io had Rhea in the corner, and Asuka was in Miss Kairi Sane's corner. And this was good. Kairi would start mocking Io. She did the whole head thing that Io does. Asuka would get involved early to make sure that Kairi had most of the offense in this match, and she did really well. She actually beat the hell out of Io for most of this match. Eventually, they spilled out to the apron, though, and Kairi went for some move. Io landed it on the apron and then suplexed Kairi to the outside and then did a moonsault off it into her. That was absolutely awesome. So these two are just phenomenal at wrestling. Oh my God, I know. Crazy to say. But eventually, though, the ref would get distracted from Miss Asuka, and Rhea went over there and killed her. Basically, she gave her a huge super kick, knocked out Asuka, and we thought that Kairi Sane would use the distraction to her advantage. No, Io's too good. Ends up in a moonsault by Io. 1, 2, 3. She gets the win. Io Sky defeats Kairi Sane with a little bit of help from Rhea, I guess, but this was some good stuff. I'll pop it.
Yeah, I'm going to pop this as well. There's really not much to say here. You're pretty much still solidifying Io and Rhea as kind of solo, but also still within the tag team. You're kind of just building them up. Who knows if they kind of continue to go after the Kabuki Warriors. Shout out to Kairi Sane. She was on SmackDown. She's on Raw. She's getting a lot of time. She's looked really, really good in her moments. This was kind of like a souped up house show feel to me, basically. You had the heels being the heels. You had the crowd loving Rhea, getting her hands on Asuka a little bit there. And then you got Io with the win. Everybody goes home happy. Not much direction or real what happens next sort of thing here. But I enjoyed this.
Yeah, that's basically it. There's not much to write home about. They're definitely just, let's get through the John Cena weekend, and then probably next week we'll pump a little bit more meaningful story into it. I mean, we already have great story with all of them, but we'll pump maybe a actual match down the road, or a goal of one of them. Maybe Rhea and Io come out and just say, hey, we want the tag titles. Then maybe we get everybody else falling out there again. We have a ton of people surrounding it. I know that we got Charlotte and Alexa versus them last week, so we need some sort of announcement for the actual number one contender at some point, but that should come after the John Cena weekend. So this was good for what it was.
Yeah, I agree, and it's going to be interesting because Alexa does face Lash on SmackDown, so it's like you have those tag teams kind of duking it out on SmackDown, but you also have the tag teams kind of somewhat duking it out on Raw as well. Who's really going for the Kabuki Warriors? I guess that's really kind of what you want to see from the division.
Yeah, come on, Adam Pearce, give us a setup, give us a tournament. How about that? That'd be pretty cool. Then we go backstage. The Vision are backstage, and Logan Paul is pissed off because Rey Mysterio beat him up last week or gave him a good punch, and Braun's like, okay, we'll handle it. And then Logan Paul grabs Paul Heyman and brings him like 2 feet away from Braun and Bronson and is like, and Paul Heyman's like, you should be really happy. You finally have backup here in the WWE. And Logan Paul was like, well, you should tell them that I backed them up too. And it was like, oh, yeah, okay. That was that. That was very weird. I'm going to drop it.
Yeah. It's nothing very weird. We'll get to the other Vision stuff later on because, shocker, they main evented. Who would have thought? But you look at it, and I think Logan Paul, the main takeaway from this is like he's still unsure if he's really can kind of trust the Vision or if they're going to destroy him because they are the Vision, right? So he's just kind of like, hey, don't worry. I got their back too, sort of thing. So he's really just kind of trying to make sure he stays in the Vision.
Well, we get more of him basically right away because our next match was planned to be Rey Mysterio versus Finn Balor, but Rey Mysterio comes out first and Logan attacks him. I did miss it. Paul Heyman gave Logan the brass knuckles before he left. So he attacks Rey and he goes for the brass knuckle shot, but Rey actually is able to reverse it and try to get a 619 off when the Masked Man shows back up and he stomps the hell out of Rey Mysterio. And then, of course, Logan Paul puts those brass knucks on and punches Rey in the face. But Rey's best friend ever shows up, LA Knight. And LA Knight comes in there and kind of scares off Logan Paul. He doesn't get a shot off or anything, but he takes the mic and he says that he's pissed off and he's not going to watch people beat up legends like Rey Mysterio. And he's going to have to make Logan Paul pay, not on Friday, not next Monday, but this Monday in Kansas City. Yeah, so we got announced that later in the night it was going to become a main event match between Logan Paul and LA Knight. And this was, I'm not even going to rate this. This was kind of just what it was. I don't think it was that bad. Yeah, I'm just going to set that one out if you want to pop or drop it.
I'll pop it.
Okay, there you go.
Why? Masked Man shows up.
That's fair.
We had a whole lot of questions. We hadn't really seen anything. We expected the Masked Man last week. We got him tonight with the Logan Paul stuff, and you're like, oh, what is this? Why is he helping out Logan Paul? So I'll pop it there.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. We'll talk more about the Masked Man a little bit later. It was just one of those things where, like, the second Rey Mysterio walked out, I was like, yeah, Logan Paul is going to beat him up. And then it happened. And I was like, that wasn't too bad, I guess. Yeah. But the LA Knight thing was kind of random. I was like, why is he backing up Rey? But, whatever.
Well, LA Knight needed to be on TV because people love LA Knight.
It's true. Yeah.
The more time for LA on TV is a good thing.
Yep, we'll get to that too. Then next up, Tag Team Championship match. We do have tag team title holders that want to fight every week now. It is AJ Styles and Dragon Lee taking on the War Raiders. War. But before we get there, Joe Tessitore dropped something crazy for us. Saturday main event, we got our final match added to it. It is going to be Dragon Lee and AJ Styles defending their titles against Leon Slater and Javon Evans. That match is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. Not much really else to say. You don't know who they are. Well, here you go. This is going to be fantastic. It might be my favorite match of the weekend, which says a lot because it's John Cena's final match, but you put these guys in the ring, these 4 guys in the ring. This is going to be fantastic stuff. It's going to be really, really good. Javon Evans, Leon Slater, both the future. So this is exactly what John Cena wants in terms of, hey, let's showcase the future. You put him in there with AJ Styles. You get AJ Styles on John Cena's final match card. It's just perfect.
Yeah, I don't know if it's actually for the tag titles. I might have just added that in there. Anyway, it kind of gave away the finish of this match, but nobody cared because that match is going to be absolutely fantastic. I cannot wait to see AJ Styles and Javon Evans just do anything. And then, of course, like Dragon Lee's as bouncy as they come as well. So, like, that's going to be a, one-upsmanship throughout the match, I'm going to guess, in terms of spots between Lee and Evans. So that's going to be awesome. I cannot wait.
I'm going to say it's not for the tag titles because of
Yes, you are correct. Anyway, War Raiders, bunch of offense. And actually, AJ Styles getting his butt whooped for most of this match. Yep. They even did that like apron spot where AJ's laying against the like the Videotron below the apron on the side of the ring. And Eric came over and hit him with it, or just ran into him, basically, cross-bodied him into it. Now, we would have a pretty funny botch. I don't really like to use that word. But Dragon Lee tried to like pick up Eric a couple times, or Ivar, I think it was Ivar, a few times. And just couldn't do it. I mean, he's a strong dude, but he just, for some reason, he couldn't get Ivar up, and they went back to it again, and then he failed again, and then they went back to it again, and they failed again. When you fail 3 times, I'm going to have to bring it up, all right? We're normally pretty lenient about that stuff, but come on. 3 times, you failed 3 times in a row.
Yeah, I mean, just like the Kansas City Chiefs, just keeps dropping things.
Just like the Kansas City Chiefs. No, not good. Not good. Anyway, the War Raiders would do this crazy thing on the outside where Dragon Lee was trying to like run into a Hurricane Rana on the apron, but they would pop him up off the apron onto Ivar, who then did a freaking power bomb to him on the outside. Absolutely wild. It was absolutely awesome. But AJ Styles eventually breaks that pin. We would eventually, though, get his Styles. He would do a top rope Hurricane Rana to one of them, sends it into the other one, and then Lee would do a suicide dive to fully take him out. AJ Styles hits a phenomenal forearm. 1, 2, 3. They remain champions. We'll do the match first. This was a pop and a drop. I think there was stuff throughout the match that was like, okay, I can't say that that's good. But at the end of the day, it was a lot of fun. I'll pop and drop it.
I'm dropping this.
Oh.
I didn't like this match.
You didn't like it at all.
It was a struggle for me to get through. I don't know about that. It was a struggle for me to get through. Multiple things. Also, the New Day being out. We didn't mention that.
Yeah.
They're out at the commentary table, but they're not doing commentary. They're just watching. And that was the whole focus of the match from the crowd. So I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Poor showing from the War Raiders. I'm sorry.
The important stuff came afterward, though, because War Raiders got out of there. They got out of there. New Day, who was sitting outside and had absolutely no involvement in the match itself, decide to now get involved into it. I guess this is the new Good Day because Waller's involved in them. But they come in the middle of the ring, and AJ Styles, he grabs the belt like, I'll smack you with this thing. But then all of a sudden, Jey Uso's music hits. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? Well, it's him and Jim. They're walking down, yeeting. He grabs a baby. That baby was like a year old. It had its arm up yeeting. That was actually wild to see. So babies can yeet now. But they get all the way to the ring, and it's the Usos, and it's the New Day, and it's AJ Styles and Dragon Lee in there. And Jey Uso cuts it up on a mic.
Hold on. He doesn't cut it up yet.
He runs it back.
Yeah. Both teams just standing there.
Yeah. And he looked at the teams like, I got to do it, man. Anyway. Big Jim then grabs the mic first, and he said, we've been taking L's, and he names basically all of Jey Uso's L's. I mean, he was involved in the Survivor Series stuff, but I mean, he just talks about all of Jay's L's for a minute. And they said that they had a conversation. They said, "What we doing, Us?" And that's when Jey Uso got the mic. He said, "We going back to the tag team scene, Us. The best tag team is back in your city, and they need the gold." And then he gets in the New Day's face, cuts them apart, bro. I mean, he's just yelling at them all day long. And then they try to stare down AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, but of course, the New Day, they go for a shot, but the Usos go, nah. They super kick them out of the ring, and Grayson Waller looks at them and goes, yeah, I'm just going to get out. And he gets out. He even does the run it back thing. And then the Usos stare down AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. Later in the night, the New Day get on a commercial break, but Xavier Woods just torches the freaking Usos, man. He makes fun of Rikishi. He makes fun of everything.
BMI.
Yeah, Rikishi's BMI. That wild comment. Actually hilarious. But the Usos are back in the titles, in the tag team scene, and they're coming after the New Day. They're coming after those tag titles, and this is so needed, man. The Raw tag division needs this. I'm so happy for it. Popping it.
Yeah, I'm going to pop this as well before I go super in depth on my feelings about this stuff. Please, WWE, don't do the thing where the Usos lose and then Jay crashes out on Big Jim, because I don't want that. Now that that's over, now that that's addressed and out of the way, this is awesome. AJ Styles, Dragon Lee, thank you for your time as tag champs. You can drop the titles to the New Day or to the Usos. I don't really care which one you do. And then please give me the Usos versus the New Day. I don't care how many times I've seen it before. I don't know how many more times I'll get it again. Let's run it back. Let's run it to Mania. I don't really care. Great promos. Uso Penitentiary, the New Day. Yes, please.
Yeah, it's been long enough to where, like, the second they got back in the ring and Jay had that mic and was screaming at them, and then Xavier Woods later in the night, he was screaming at them. Like, I was like, dude, I'm 100% sold. It's been too long since we've seen this. That's something that I'm invested in when it comes to Jay Uso. Like, the second he was back and he said tag division, I was like, yep, welcome back. Very much needed. The Raw tag division has been basically on life alert forever. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee have at least been making it relevant in terms of matches again, which is good. But the story part, which could be New Day versus the Usos in this day and age, after all the evolution that they've done, dude, do that ASAP. It's going to be fantastic. Hell yeah. That's basically it.
It's one of those things like, yes, I know John Cena's time is coming to an end, right? I don't know how many more times are we going to get to see something like this, right? So like, if you don't do it now, when are you going to do it again? So like, please.
Good stuff happened next too. We finally got our freaking women's champion to get in the center of the ring and cut a promo. Jackie Redman introduces her, and they kept saying Nikki Bella's name. And I looked at the stream and I was like, they're saying Nikki Bella's name a lot here. Everybody was a little bit, wondering like, oh, Liv last week, she got in her face. Who's going to be this person? Well, Jackie asked the question right away. She says, who's next? And Steph says, well, anyone can get it, basically. She said she doesn't speak through her promos. She speaks through actions. She calls herself the best, and she says, Nikki Bella, you're not the best anymore. It's not 15 years ago anymore. We have women like Rhea, like Io, like, I think she said Bailey.
Bailey was the second one
she mentioned everybody, basically, not Liv. And that's when Nikki Bella's music hits. And we all went, oh no. And I'm a Nikki Bella guy. You guys know that. But even I was like, oh no, we're doing this again. And Nikki walks through. She says Kansas City does not deserve her presence, which is true. We do not. But she says that she demands a rematch. She gets on the apron and demands a rematch. But that is when Raquel shows up in a Houston, Texas shirt. That hurt. But she just picks up Nikki Bella literally on her shoulder and just shot puts her into the freaking ring post. Nails it. She gets into the ring. She says some stuff in Spanish, but she just says, name a time and place for me to take your title. So it looks like we have the next challenger for Stephanie Vaquer's title, and it will be Raquel Rodriguez. And I was pleasantly surprised. I'll pop this and drop this. The Nikki part was awful, but I do like Raquel's work.
Yeah, I like that. I'm just gonna pop this one. You took the drop, so
okay.
No reason to double drop it. She got dropped on her face when she hit that post. Bow.
Hey, she took that. She took that spot.
No reason to really have her come out here at all. Raquel could have literally just jumped the barricade, but it is what it is. But I'm excited here. We get Raquel, who before Steph got the title, there were rumors or thoughts about people saying, "Hey, like Raquel should be champ. Raquel should be champ. Why not? She's done some great work." So yeah, sign me up for this match. I think this match is going to be fantastic. You combine that in with the story that is Liv, Raquel, world title, but Liv maybe thinks they should be going for the tag titles and that world title is hers. You can sign me up. The Judgment Day stuff surrounding that, and you get to see Stephanie Vaquer have a great title defense.
Yeah, this is absolutely great. I mean, it makes a lot of sense because Raquel obviously got screwed over before all this. And so they continue that story and like make it logical for her to get her foot back in there. She takes out Nikki Bella in just an extremely harsh way. Shot puts her into the ring post. It was like, okay, you look dominating there. And then like just even the picture of Raquel looking down at Steph, I was like, this is going to be a fun feud. This is going to be something that we've never seen before. Raquel now is in a big time spot. This probably won't be long lived for her, but it's something that she's deserved and earned. And now it's going to be good to see. And then of course you can do the Liv drama. Raquel did it behind her back, so we can work on that as well. This should all be good stuff, and it just leads to more Stephanie Vaquer on TV, which is always good. So I'm happy for it. We would go backstage. I'll jump back to something we skip over here real quick, but Judgment Day is backstage and they're having a really good day. Finn's happy he didn't have to wrestle. He was supposed to wrestle Ray. Dom's obviously happy. Liv is kind of like, what the hell to Raquel? Not in a sassy way. She's just like, oh, I didn't know you were going to do that. And Raquel's like, oh, I didn't know that we had to tell you everything. And she's like, no, you didn't. You're all good. But yeah, you go do you. And Raquel kind of walks away. She's like, I'm going to go talk to Adam Pearce about my title match. And Liv then walks up to Roxanne and is like, well, she's not going to be in your corner tonight for the Lyra match, so I guess I'll be in your corner. And Rox is like, oh, cool, but why? And Liv's like, well, that's just, looks like you and I are going to have to go after the tag titles. And they kind of leave. And Dom and Finn look at each other, and Dom's like, yeah, it's good that they have each other. This should be fine. So it was good stuff.
Yeah, Judgment Day's kind of all getting along. Yeah, there's obviously the, I didn't know sort of thing. But for the most part, they're getting along. Except JD. I don't know where he was tonight.
Hey, having a night off.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't want to come to KC.
He was chilling. He kept the PS5 at home. He was chilling. Anyway, that would lead right into... Actually, no, we'll hit on this. We got another one of those sweet Maxine videos where she's training, and it was like Rocky level. Like, she was going hard. She ends up making Natty in the promo video tap out. So she's ready. And we also get the announcement that it's Ivy Nile versus Maxine Dupree next week. And with this new character change, it's kind of looking like Maxine's going to come in there and kind of whoop up on Ivy Nile, and then we can kind of move on from there. So
yeah, I don't know if they're going to fully go with the Maxine Dupree, Natty Neidhart look, even though I think that would be kind of cool if they did that. I know they obviously never did that with Natalya. Natalya was a little bit nervous about it, but why not give it with Maxine, right? You got to try to at least take Maxine a little bit seriously. Ivy Nile cuts a promo basically saying that she should be the champ and not Maxine. Maxine is going to destroy Ivy Nile, and it's going to be awesome to see.
Yeah, that's basically it. I really like what they're doing with Maxine. I would like for her to kind of take on that Natty Neidhart role because, Maxine does still kind of have the shadow of the Alpha Academy on her. She still does a bunch of that stuff. You even have the Otis and Tozawa thing where they're running around with her, which I love to see. But if you want to make her feel more, like a big time wrestler who's capable of defending that IC title, you should probably give her a little bit more edge, right? So I'm looking forward to seeing kind of how they sort of repackage her if they do. And this should be a good win over Ivy Nile next week. So looking forward to it.
It is crazy. She made Natty tap in the promo video.
Yeah. And Natty was like Natty.
They're doing some really good work with those promo videos.
They are. We would get Lyra. She came out with Bailey versus Rox, who came out with Miss Liv. And this was some really good stuff. Obviously, Lyra and Roxanne have a very historic past in NXT, and this continued to this match where Lyra was just doing phenomenal wrestling until Roxanne decided to slam her into the steel steps into her shoulder like 8 times to the point where she was selling it, but there was also just her shoulder was completely red and bruised up. So it looked like it hurt in real life. Like it was like, oh, yeah, you actually did mess her shoulder up. And, Rox would basically destroy that shoulder the entire match. That was entirely what she was doing. Eventually, though, Lyra would get a good comeback, and that would lead to Liv having to distract. And Bailey came over there, obviously, to deal with Liv. But Rox was able to kick away Bailey, and then we were getting roll-up things in the ring until Roxanne kind of pushed Lyra into Liv, who was laying down on the apron, and Liv just booted her in the face with her heel. And the ref did not see it. Obviously, that led to Lyra being staggered in the middle of the ring, and that led to Roxanne being able to give a good old pop rocks. 1, 2, 3. Roxanne is able to defeat Lyra Valkyria with the help of Miss Liv Morgan. It looks like Liv and Roxanne are going to be the next kind of team in the Judgment Day, and I like it. I'll pop it.
Yeah, I'm going to like this. I know we talked a little bit about it before where I didn't really know what to expect with the Liv Morgan stuff, and you thought, okay, well, they're going to do the turn right away, and they're going to have them be butting heads right away. Well, I really kind of like this, happy Judgment Day, Liv Morgan getting along with everybody, showing she's everybody's friend sort of thing, building up the Judgment Day again. Bailey obviously attacks her, pulls her down, and ends up, costing Lyra the match, which is fine, nothing really crazy there, but she helps Roxanne get the win, which is the bigger story here. And I'm really just kind of excited to see what kind of keeps happening. How can they kind of continue to build the friendship of Roxanne and Liv?
Yeah, it feels like they're kind of postponing Liv being able to do bumps and stuff. She may be still a little bit injured, but this is an interesting story. I thought when she stared down Stephanie Vaquer, we're going to go instantly into that, but now we have Raquel chasing that, which means Liv's going to have to team with Rox. This is all good stir in the pot. We're going to see if Liv plays nice and how long she plays nice for, and if Dom's okay with that. So it's really just planting the seeds for some really good Judgment Day stories right away here. So Judgment Day's back to being kind of a main story thread throughout Raw that I care about. Love seeing Liv doing this, and we'll see where we go with it, because a lot of people think Liv's not going to play nice for very long.
Yeah, and who knows? It might even be a thing where Rox decides that it's and maybe that's the route they go. Obviously, don't want to go too deep into it, but everybody loves to cheer Dom. People love to cheer Liv. People they want those two together. So maybe it's a thing where maybe Rox does it.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, we would move on to our main event. It was Logan Paul taking on LA Knight. Yeah, and they were moving at the speed of light to start this match. Literally the speed of light. I mean, they were just attacking. We were outside right away. LA Knight was slamming Logan Paul's face into the announce table right away. Logan Paul then got back in the ring. He hit a zigzag on this man. He did a split leg drop on this man. Everybody was going wild, but eventually it is the main event of a Raw, everybody, which means Braun and Bronson Reed gotta be out there. But they come out there, and Braun Breaker distracts the ref right away so that Bronson Reed can get a good headbutt onto LA Knight. But the ref turns around and he's not stupid. He's like, LA Knight was standing up a second ago. Now he's not standing up. You did something, Mr. Sir. And he goes, you get the hell out of here. But while the ref is working on getting them out of the match, LA Knight and Logan Paul are on the outside of the ring, on the apron or on the announce table again, and that freaking masked man shows up and he stomps the hell out of LA Knight's face, throws him into the ring. Logan Paul goes to the top rope, gets a splash. 1, 2, 3. Logan Paul defeats LA Knight with the help of the masked man. But that was not it, because then they killed LA Knight for a minute. They attack. Braun and Bronson Reed attack. Braun spears him. We get 2 tsunamis and LA Knight gets carried to the back. Let's talk about this first, because then we have something else happen after this. I'll give this a pop. This is some good stuff. Masked Man is still going crazy. We don't know who he is. He's stomping everybody. He's on the Vision side. This is good stuff. I'll pop it.
Yeah, I'm going to pop this as well. Logan Paul is there kind of week in and week out, which is surprising to me. But like, hey, it's helping out this Vision storyline, right? The Masked Man once again strikes. Nobody kind of knows when he's going to strike. It's kind of almost out of nowhere sort of thing, right? But this is all good stuff. We're just kind of continuing to build. Who is the Masked Man? When does he strike? Who does he attack next? Does the Vision even know, or does he just do it on his own sort of thing? So I'm going to pop it. I know some people probably don't like it, but I like it. You have to kind of keep building this up since it was such a major point of Survivor Series.
Yeah, I complained last week that we didn't get anything about the Masked Man except for like them just talking about it backstage, and I'll stand on that. This is better. I do like him being present, causing disruption in matches. You know, his side, his allegiance is obviously with the Vision, because he only shows up during Vision stuff right now. So that's an interesting note. And as long as we're seeing him and we keep that, who is this? Then I'll stay interested. But don't do the thing like last week where he just doesn't show up and we talk about it. But that wasn't it, which was weird, because there was we went to commercial break, but Paul Heyman started introducing everybody and he was cutting a promo during the break. But then we got back from the break and he kind of like restarted his promo in a sense. But basically he started to promote the January 5th match of Braun Breaker versus CM Punk. And then he hands the mic to Braun Breaker, who obviously cut it up last week. Let's do it again to end Raw. He says, I have a question. Where is CM Punk? This new CM Punk is nothing but a lie. He's a fraud. He's a nice guy now. Oh, good boy CM Punk. He says he's straight edge, but he's the only one that looks like a crackhead. Not my words, that's Braun Breaker. He says, I will destroy that CM Punk. I want the old CM Punk. He even gets on his hands and knees and he says, get me the old Punk. I'm going to Braun break you and take your wife too. And at this point, Paul Heyman's like, whoa, chill out. But then randomly, the Tron comes on and LA Knight's like still standing up in the back. Like he's being carried out, but he's not dead after eating multiple tsunamis. Well, Bronson Reed and Logan Paul are like, we'll take care of this. So they go all the way to the back. Braun Breaker at this point is just screaming into the camera. He's just saying, spear 1, 2, 3, spear 1, 2, 3. He's ripping off his shirt, spear 1, 2, 3. So he's going insane. But then Bronson Reed and Logan Paul destroy LA Knight. They powerbomb him through a table, and you would think that'd be done, but then LA Knight makes a comment. He's like, it looks like 2 bitches to me. And that pisses them off.
Yeah. You were getting your ass beat. You shouldn't have said something.
You can't be talking smack as you're getting killed, man. No. Anyway, they bring him over. There is a conveniently placed car next to conveniently placed boxes that are really high up. They beat this man up. They throw him on top of the car. Bronson Reed heads on up. Bronson Reed, tsunami, right to LA Knight. And that car does not budge. Raw ends with the Vision putting LA Knight through a freaking car. It looks like we have written off LA Knight. The Vision seem unstoppable, and I'll pop it.
Yeah, I'm going to pop and drop this one.
Okay.
I'm going to drop the Paul Heyman portion of this. Okay. That was weird. Braun Breaker I thought was solid tonight on the promo. I don't think he did as well as he did last week, but I do like on his hands and knees begging, praying for Punk. Please, let me get the old CM Punk back. I really kind of liked that stuff. And then you have Division just absolutely destroying LA Knight. I know people are not going to like that. LA Knight being written off TV kind of sucks, but they're just going to maybe wait until Rumble. I think they don't have any plans for LA Knight. Now, maybe you say, hey, they should have some plans. Right now, I don't think they do. So who really knows? Maybe LA Knight and Seth Rollins end up teaming together down the road, if that's kind of how that works. I don't really know. But the vision for it being a Vision main events Raw once again, this had a little bit of variety in terms of the backstage attack and the putting it through the car. Bronson Reed is solid at that stuff. I always kind of like seeing that stuff. So it gets a pop from me.
Yeah, this was, it felt like LA Knight being in the main, it felt like LA Knight being in the final of the John Cena tournament. That was kind of like WWE throwing a bone to all of us LA Knight fans. They were like, we hear you. He at least got this far. Take this. And then today it kind of felt obvious where it was like, well, we got nothing for him after that. So what are we going to do? We're going to have the Vision write him off for a long while. He ate multiple tsunamis. He got put through a table. He got put through a car. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see this man until the Royal Rumble. So it's going to be a while with LA Knight being out. We get to focus on the Masked Man stuff. We get to focus on all that. And, hopefully LA Knight gets to come back and they'll have something for him to do, because we all are on the same boat of like LA Knight needs a little bit better. At least he went out talking smack and, eating tsunamis and still talking through it. So I found this interesting and a lot of fun to end Raw. For Braun Breaker, though, he is great on a mic. Like, that's solidified at this point. I can't wait for CM Punk to finally be back and be able to rebuttal these promos. And then we'll really get to see what Braun Breaker's got, especially if they stand one-on-one in a ring. That is going to be must-see.
Yeah, that's kind of the next proving stage for me, at least. And we know we can do it solo, but with Punk, we'll see kind of how that goes. Punk might remind him who the real CM Punk sort of thing. You might even get it back to where you have to have the Vision in terms of Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Masked Man versus like a CM Punk, LA Knight, Rollins, maybe like a Roman. I don't know. You have to have some sort of team go up against that. You might have to like enemy of my enemy is friends. We've had all this stuff in the past, but who really knows, right? They're setting up for some big stuff. There's got to be some big force to take down the Vision, but this was nice to see some variety. Kind of the same stuff, but a little bit different.
Same, but different. Anyway, have a good break, LA Knight. Much deserved. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we gave this Raw 16 pops to 6 drops. Maybe a little bit heavy on the pops, but decent episode of Monday Night Raw. We are looking forward to this freaking weekend, everybody, because it is obviously John Cena's final match this Saturday, and we will be having a big time live stream for it and encourage you to be there. youtube.com/@CodWrestlePod. Please be there. It will be so much fun. We'd love to have you and be honored for you to watch Cena's last match with us. But for everything else, it's at CodWrestlePod, COD WrestlePod. We have a link tree in our bio to get all of our social medias. Go ahead and like, subscribe, share to all of it. But I'm Will. That's Brandon. We are the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. We will see you next time.